His hands brushed my cheek, rough, desperate, alive. For 5 seconds, I forgot I had a husband. 2 kids. A life. The guilt hit me like a punch when I gasped for air. This isn't a love story. This is how I burned everything down. Maria, he thought she had it all. A loyal husband, 2 wild-hearted kids, a home with hydrangeas blooming by the porch. David, her accountant husband, worked late, his side of the bed cold more often than not. Their marriage? Stable. Predictable. Empty. Then Jake moved in next door. He wasn't handsome in a magazine way. He had calloused hand from fixing motorcycles, a laugh that rattled windows, and eyes that locked onto hers like she was the only person in the world. Their first chat over the fence lasted 3 minutes. He remembered her favorite book. Nobody remembered her favorite book. It started small. Borrowing sugar. Compliments about her garden. Then one Tuesday, he found her crying over a broken vase. Didn't ask why. Just sat on the grass beside her, shoulder pressed to hers, until her breathing steadied. "You're not okay, are you?" he said. That's when she broke. The kisses began in July. David was working late, again, and the kids were asleep. Jake's porch light was on. She told herself she'd return his drill. Lies come easy when your heart's starving. He answered the door, shirtless, sweat glinting on his collarbone. They talked about nothing, the humidity, the neighbor's yapping terrier. Then silence. His thumb grazed her wrist. "Don't." She leaned in any way. His mouth was whiskey and recklessness. Her wedding ring dug into his neck as she pulled him closer. For 10 minutes, she wasn't Mom or Mrs. Thompson. She was fire. Guilt came later, sharp and nauseating. She scrubbed her lips raw. David kissed her forehead that night, and she flinched. The affair spiraled. Motel rooms. Texts deleted before dinner. Lies stacked like dirty dishes. She craved Jake's chaos. How he'd whisper, "You're wasted," on him against her hip bone. But David? He noticed her new perfume. Bought her roses. Tried. The crash came at a PTA meeting. Jake's daughter, 8 years old, same as her son, handed her a juice box. "Daddy says you're his best friend." Maria vomited in the school bathroom. That night, she confessed. David's face went gray. He didn't yell, just whispered, "Look at me." When she did, he shattered. Was I that easy to forget? Rebuilding was worse than the lies. Therapy. Sobbing in parking lots. David's hands, steady as ever, shaking when he touched her. One night, he said, "I stayed because I remember who you were before you disappeared." Jake moved away. The for sale sign went up in August. It's been a year. David leaves early sometimes, not for work. They're learning. Some days, Maria hates herself. Others, she catches David's smirk during coffee, and her chest aches with something like hope. Love doesn't die clean. It claws. It festers. And if you're lucky, it staggers back, bruised but breathing.